Welcome, welcome, welcome to another segment of Michelle Speaks. If you hide it, you can't feel it. I'm Michelle Portier, your host of the hour. And as you know, we always highlight those on this platform, those that have encountered adversity and have turned those adversities into triumphs. For today's segment, we are going to be focusing on mental wellness and mental health as it relates to fitness. But I want to put out the caveat that I am not a mental health counselor. I am not a mental health therapist. I am merely a mental health advocate because of my own lived experiences. So I just want to give you a few statistics and then we're going to get right into it with our very special guest. So as you know, in the state of Florida where I reside, there are about 188,000 individuals that live with mental illness. And there's over 161,000 children that have encountered some form of mental illness. So today we're going to be touching on the topic of mental wellness and the status of our mental health as it relates to fitness and other stressors. So today we're going to be addressing the stress. And without further ado, I want to introduce to you all to a very, very special guest, a dear friend and colleague of mine, Coach Mike. So thank you so much, Coach Mike, for agreeing to come on and share with us your insight, your knowledge, and provide us with much value on how we too can address the stress. So thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. It's really cool. I'm right now sharing this to my Facebook group. So as you guys see down here, I'm gonna let people hear you, honey, because they need to hear what you got to say.
Right. Well, more importantly, we're here to hear what you have to say. We're just going to start the dialogue and chop it up. How about that?
I love it. Well, hey, look, I'm ready. I love answering questions. If y'all don't know who I am, just Coach Mike. I keep it real, fun-loving guy, and I love answering questions. I'm going to keep it real with y'all, so y'all better watch out. Watch out the questions y'all post down below because I'm going to give it to you.
So I hope you're ready for the real deal. So make sure if you have comments, post them so that we can address them. So without further ado, Mike, because I know you and those, I'm sure that are streaming, some of the people here know you. But for those that don't know who Coach Mike is, can you tell us who you are personally, professionally, and spiritually?
So some of you guys who don't know me, I just wanted to share with you simply this. I'm an 8-year military veteran of the Special Forces, spent 8 years serving my country, came home afterwards. And when I came home to a grandmother who was sick. She weighed over 200 pounds her entire adult life. She was the loving, sweetest, kind woman you can ever meet. And she was laying in her hospital bed when I made it back to Chicago, and she was laying there weighing 75 pounds. Cancer had taken over her frame. And let me tell you, I don't know how many of you all love your grandma. First off, how many of you guys love y'all grandma? I know I do. That's grandma, right? That's big mama. She told me, she said, well, baby, I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. I've been suffering with this cancer and battling with her weak voice. And I said, no, it ain't going down like that. I said, we're going to get you up off this hospital bed and I'm going to take care of you. Anything I need to do. And she grabbed me by the hand and with her small, sensitive, quiet, delicate voice. And she said, baby, grandma tired. And I said, I try to crack some jokes and, make light of the situation as I always do. But this wasn't a laughing matter. And she said, make me a promise. And I said, sure, grandma, whatever you want. She said, promise me with that little boy on the inside of you that you'll give everything you got, everywhere you go, to everyone you come in contact with, what you can't give me before it's your turn to be on your deathbed. And I said, yes, ma'am, grandma. And at that moment, she passed away right there in my hand. And it gave me this sense of urgency, or this sense of purpose, or this sense of vision, this sense of something. My life is more than just laughing and having a good time. It's for other people. And so I sought after to help other people, mainly women who were middle-aged, a little overweight, battling degenerative diseases. and helped them overcome it. So I opened a gym, not knowing and having a clue about business or anything. And I did a trial and error in my business venture of learning how to, help. But all I knew was a promise to my grandmother. So after two years of doing that, I then went on to speak around the U.S. with a coach of mine in the early stages of speaking, Tony Robbins, and with his team of speakers. And we toured North America. Then I came back and said, man, it's deeper than just helping people financially, but it's about helping people get over some childhood trauma that has formed their image or their model of what the world should be, and they're judging, going back and forward. Is it supposed to be like this? Is it supposed to be like that? Well, this is what other people say. This is what I'm feeling, and it's just a blender of emotions and thoughts and patterns and habits and all that good stuff. So I did that, and I've been doing it globally in different countries around the world. And then I came back and started helping businesses do a business breakthrough with realizing that, hey, you can't just drive the team or the company with an iron fist. You got to understand the human factor along with what drives them to hit the bottom line, which is, revenue growth. And then pandemic happened, COVID, and during COVID, hey, everybody was home. We all going through this. So there were some people who said, man, what are you doing now that the COVID is here? I said, I haven't got a clue. And so I started this 600 challenge, doing 600 reps of anything for 30 days, push-ups, squats, sit-ups, whatever you want to call it. And people said, man, this guy's crazy. But people started doing it with me. So I'm like, who crazy here, right? So right. So we had a good time. People joined in. It was really cool. And then from that, people said, hey, we want to keep going. We don't want to just do it for 30 days. And so then I spearheaded now currently what's called the VFC, which is the virtual fitness classes, where it's not just fitness, but it's a community of people that's striving to have better health, better mental health, better physical health, better emotional, and better spiritual health. And here I am. That's a nutshell about me. And I wrote a book called The Seed in You. It's really cool to grab that book. It's pretty cool.
And if you haven't read it, you need to read it. It's definitely a nugget and a treasure to add to your treasures of your book collections. I first want to say to you, Mike, first of all, thank you so much for your service and for your continued service. Truly appreciate it. And those of you that didn't know him, now you know just a smidgen about who Coach Mike is, just a smidgen, but there's many layers, and we hope to uncover some of those layers today. So thank you for that. You mentioned, that you've encountered some tragedies, as we all do in life.
Yeah.
And that impacted, and that was actually the catalyst to what started you into what you do as far as helping others at Breakthrough Summit and things like that. But more importantly, with this current pandemic, concurrent pandemics that we're in, the COVID and the racial tensions and things like that, of course, people's emotional and mental health are impacted by that. And so what I want to ask you is, how have you been impacted, by past and present stressors that are in your life? And how have those stressors impacted your mental health?
Listen, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna go straight to the point.
Please do.
Growing up and going through some of the trauma in my family, and then going into the military, going through the trauma in the military, and then coming out and trying to make sense of it was the hardest part. I got Michael, I got Coach Mike, and then I got this little guy inside of me from my childhood. I got him. So I got three people who is constantly wanting to show up, and they constantly have questions. What does this mean? Where am I going? How do I do this? Where should I do it at? What? Who? And these questions. And it's a blender of questions. And I got tired of just saying, well, I'm just Michael, or I'm just Coach Mike. Or this little guy started to come up and say, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me, jumping up inside of me. And I said, you know what? Every day, one of them are going to be more dominant than the other. It's just how it is. And so whoever decides to show up at that given moment, I'm present wherever my 2 feet are. And I've come to realize that I don't really care who shows up. I just care that whoever does show up full effect in its rarest, realest form. And it is what it is. And you know what? I used to really care about what people said, what they think, what they may perceive, and all that. And the real strategy is really not giving a F of what other people think, what they feel, because the bottom line, they're going to do it whether you feel happy, whether you pissed off, they're still going to have their opinion. So I might as well enjoy me, show up with whichever one of the 3 show up, and live life and be present wherever my 2 feet are.
So being present wherever your 2 feet are, what does that look like? And do you feel that many people have added stress or unnecessary stress because they are attempting to please everybody or live up to external expectations rather than, their own expectations of who they are, who they want to be?
Well, I think stress is necessary. I'm not going to be this person like, oh, you should never have stress. Stress shouldn't be here. Da, 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 da. No. Stress is necessary because we don't live in a world where it's just you sit on the beach, wiggle your toes in the sand, and drink mimosas and say, hey, life is, ice cream and rainbow. So the reality is number one, I say, look, stress is here. What are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Not, hey, I don't want to have stress. I don't want to have stress. Look, stress, get away from me. I don't want to see. No. I'm sorry, honey. That's not in the world. When you open your eyes, you open up your eyes and stress. The beautiful thing about it is what's called a strategy with stress. Then once you have a strategy with stress, then you can manage stress. Now you have stress management. So first thing I do is I say, look, I know something is going to piss me off today. I know it is. So what am I going to do when something pisses me off? That's number one. Then I say, I know that there's going to be something that makes me so happy that I'm going to just be so grateful for life itself. Now I have something that pisses me off and I have something that's going to make me happy. So the strategy is, how do I find balance between the two? Mm-hmm. I can't live in gratitude and happiness and everything all day because you're setting yourself up for a lie. Now you're going to be more stressed off than you are with trying to manage it. Secondly, I say, look, there's going to be stress here. What am I going to do about it? Now, for me personally, what I do is I say, there's 2 ways I can deal with this. Either I can fix it or I can't. If I can fix it, then guess what? What's my strategy to fix it? If I can't fix it, I'm going to say, what's my strategy in getting over it? Mm-hmm. Those are the 2 strategies I have. For Michael, Coach Mike, and Capilio. Mm-hmm. When I come up, boom, here I am. Can I fix it? Yeah, I can fix it. In fitness, getting some love handles. Cool. Can I fix it? Yep. Watch it. Don't watch what I eat because I can watch it, then I'm going to eat it. I got to say, will this food help me? Okay, go to the gym. Okay, I can go to the gym. Now what? Going to the gym ain't going to fix it. What is the everybody has a goal. What's the plan? Now, that's on fixing it. Now, if I can't fix it, you got to have a plan for not fixing it. Because if not, you'll worry yourself. And let me tell you, people worry themselves, especially in such a time like this. People worry themselves into a death. Mm-hmm. And I say, okay, my plan on if I can't fix it, my plan is not to worry about it. But see, that's easier said than done.
Exactly.
It's easier said. Don't worry about it. Cool. Yeah, right. But lights are off. Don't worry about it. But they're going to come and evict you. Don't worry about it. But you ain't got no gas in your car. That's the reality. So now when you have that, I say you got to have a strategy for stress. Then the next layer is stress management. You don't have to manage it. Now, I don't have a one-way fits all because it doesn't happen that way. Stress isn't that way. It'll knock you down, hit you in your knee. You thought it was coming this way, and then it pop you on this side of the head, right? So what I do is I say, you know what? I'm not going to be so, and here's what people do. They anticipate it so much and grow it to be bigger than what it is. And when it show up this big, they're like, oh, and most of their worry, stress, issues, diseases that come from it is from them worrying about it and not even confronting it. So the number one thing I do is I say, I confront it. You know, if someone is pissed off at me, I'm mad at them, cool. I'm gonna say, look, I can worry about it for a week and then talk to them. And, you know, when the week is over, or it's right here, it's present, being present where my 2 feet are. Let me get it over with right now. Hello? Yeah, what you mad about? I'm sorry. Or what you mad about? That's your problem. And that's it. I was afraid to do that for years.
So Natalie, one of our listeners says, stress comes out of nowhere. What do you make of that statement?
It's never going to listen. You don't say, you know what? Stress is going to come tomorrow at 2:00. So at 1:59, I'm going to brace myself for the stress. Here it comes. And I'm ready for you, stress. It don't happen that way. Stress, that's why it's stress, because it's something that's coming that you're not planning for. If you look at the dictionary, the definition of stress, you can put it down or whatever. But when it comes out of nowhere, hit you in the face. You know, Mike Tyson said, a plan is just a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Then it's like, oh, hello, hi, I'm ready. I showed up today. When stress comes out of nowhere, that's when nowhere comes into stress. What I mean by that, you're driving. Next thing you know, train comes down. You're late for work. How did this happen? I didn't predict the train coming to make me late for work. Now here comes the ripple effect. The girl who's trying to get me fired got more ammunition. Now they got ammunition to fire. I'm not on time. Now I'm behind. Oh, now you see how we stack it. This comes out of nowhere, but we stacking. Do I got a job? How long is this train going to go? Your mind is gone. Guess what? The train is there. Now, remember what I said. Can I fix it? Can't fix it? The train is there. I can't change the train or speed it up. Can't fix it. So now, do I worry about it or I don't worry about it? Nope. I'm not going to worry about this train being here. If I worry about it, or if I don't worry about it, it's not going to change the fact that the train is there, and it's not going to change the fact that you're late. When it comes out of nowhere, what's your strategy for dealing with it? And it's going to keep changing, and it's going to continue to evolve. It's not going to be, hey, this is what I'm going to do to handle stress every time I get it. Because, honey, you'll get some stress with that thinking ain't going to take you to the next level. You're going to need a stronger, bigger thinking or a deeper thinking. I don't overthink stress. I don't. It's just I didn't know who showed up to the table when it presented itself. That was my issue. I can say this till I'm blue in the face. People listening to this, they still gonna worry. They still gonna have stress. But I'm telling you, it's not going. As long as you live on this earth, stress is gonna come out of nowhere. If you think it's not, forget about it. The day you stop having stress is the day you leave here.
So what do you think, Mike, what do you think are some of the lies that we tell ourselves that contribute to our stress? Because, you know, we have good stresses, we have bad stresses. But what do you think are some of the lies that we often tell ourselves that contribute to the negative stress? Like you said, the compounding.
Two things. Number one, the story that our parents taught us when we grew up. Number two, the opinions and stories of other people. That's it. If you didn't hear any story from your parents, if you didn't hear any stories or opinions from other people, where would it come from? So you got your cousin, you got your uncle, you got your homegirl, you got the one who hating on you. You may have an abusive mother, father. You may have all these people have attached and stuck themselves to you like sticky fly paper. That's where it come from. So what you got to do is you got to say, you know what? Let me Let me get this fly paper up or up. It's still residue. Let me get some alcohol. Let me get some scrub. Then you start saying, oh, that's me. But you can't see yourself because of the opinions and the opinions of your parents and opinions of other people. Those are the two things of where stress comes from. When you start not caring about the things of other people and stuff, you become freer. But it's the bondage are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be carried.
Say that one more time, that last one.
Oh, well, stress is too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be carried.
I like that. So another one of our guests says, wow, help, I need to learn this technique.
Well, if you want to, you can reach out to me. You can download my app. It's called the VFC in Google or the Play Store. And you can click on there, ask Coach Michael, or book a time slot, and you can go right through the app, schedule your time on my calendar, and I'll make time for you, baby.
And for those of you that are listening in and you're already gleaning so much from Coach Mike, if you want to find out more about him, just visit the website that's streaming just below this live. It's teamvfc.com, and you can find out everything you want to know. And so thank you so much for that. So I know you had a very challenging childhood, and growing up, you experienced some things we all have, and you went on to join the military and you encountered some challenges there. So what challenges did you encounter there that have molded your mental stamina? Because, from having known you the last couple of years, I had the experience of being able to experience one of your breakthrough summits, and you helped me to break through some of my own mental challenges, emotional challenges. What is the thing that molded you to have the stamina that you have mentally?
Not having a choice. You see, as a kid, I didn't have a choice. I had to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't grow through it. When I went into the military running from one to get to another one, I ran right into another one. And I signed my name on the dotted line for 4 years. I couldn't get out of it. I had to go through it. But I didn't grow through it. It wasn't until the second 4 years of the 8 years that I said, this looks familiar. I went through 17 years of this. This looks familiar. I went through 4 years of this. This looks familiar. I don't think I want to go through another 4 years of this. I have to do something different. Because what I've been doing is getting me the same results. So what I did was I said, let me make a choice to do something different.
So to be able to make a choice, you have to be able to identify the behaviors, right? To choose a different path.
None of that bull crap works. When you make a choice is when you say the pot is hot. This hurts. Ouch. I don't want to deal with this no more. That's when you make a choice. See, all these speakers and influencers and all of these coaches and stuff say, well, this is when you make a choice. Look, that hurt. You slapped me. I don't want to get slapped again. Let me make a choice to duck. I touched the stove. I got blisters on my hand. It's hot. You see, you can't be persuaded to make a choice, baby. You make a choice. Let me put it this way. Excuse me when I just said that, because I want to say this for some of the people in the back. You can be persuaded to make a choice, okay? You got some slick salesmen that can slick at the side of their mouth, right? But you can't be persuaded to make a change, baby. So when you're ready to stop getting slapped in the face, and the slap in the face is a colloquialism or a euphemism or whatever you want to call those fancy words that represent something that's going on in your life. When you tired of getting slapped in the face with it, even when you turn the other cheek, that other cheek tired of getting slapped in the face with it, you're gonna duck or you're gonna swing back.
Well, there you have it, straight from Coach Mike's mouth.
That's it.
That's
baby.
how you do it. Well, so Coach, how has your character and your humanity been molded? Has it been molded or forged more by pleasure and success or by pain and disappointment?
A little bit of both. I love validation, and it was because I lacked it as a kid growing up. So that's still something that I'm going through.
Okay.
No, what I said. Going through, growing through. I'm still going through that. That's something I ain't got it all together, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all to say I will. Validation is huge because I wanted it from my father. I wanted it from my father. Wanted it from my father. Never really got it the way I wanted. A lot of people never got it the way they wanted. But this is about me. So that was an area that that was a challenge for me because I wanted someone to see how great I was because I didn't feel that I got it as a kid. That's why I aspired to do all these things. You Google my name, did this, travel all over something. Validation. Now, what motivates me when I'm in it, the yin to that yang, is someone telling me I can't do it. Or people saying I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to like your post. I'm not going to view your post. Then I say, cool, you can only ignore me so long. But when you see other people following, oh, now you want to see the validation. I got you, baby. Now you got to pay double for it. Hello. So the thing is it's a double-edged sword. I crave for validation, but I get inspired and motivated by the doubt and the negativity. It's just how I've grown through my mental challenges.
Motivation. And would you say that you have a successful strategy by which you address all of the stresses in your life? Or do you think that there are going to be some that come up that you have to create a new strategy?
Oh, listen, every stressor that's new, it's going to hurt. Now I know it's going to hurt. It's not going to surprise me. There will be some pain. Now I can say, I don't give a F, or I fix it. No matter how you enunciate it or be studious and eloquently articulate it. When all that stuff get broken down to its rarest form, either you give a crap or you don't. Either you want to fix it or you won't. That's been my simplest form of how I get through majority of the stresses in my life.
And now, so how has fitness played a role in that?
Oh, fitness is my validation, baby. And fitness is the fastest serum. It's the fastest fix that gets to my blood because it gives me both things. It gives me the validation because I look in the mirror. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, you look good. Validation other people. Man, you look good. Right? That's the validation. Now, on the stressor part is I'm like, how do I get to the next level? Okay, I look good, but after a while, you keep looking at that. There's no growth there. It's just there. You maintain it. I don't want to maintain. I want to push to the next level. So the stressors of that, and okay, now I got to eat more of this, and if I eat another celery stick, I'm gonna feel like I'm a rabbit. If I drink any more water, Leah. Let me get that Chick-fil-A, y'all better give me this plug. Let me get this #1 no cheese deluxe extra pickle 2 sandwiches. Boom, and I eat it. I'm like, all right, boom. Now, oh shoot, I got to work it off. But it's just it's the never-ending cycle of being happy, being sad, being grateful, being stressed. It's there. It's there. I will never, ever feed anyone a bucket of bull crap and say, here's the secret or here's the strategy of never having stress in your life. It's bull crap. They're pitching you a dream and you'll wake up in a nightmare.
Right. And not saying that we will never have stresses, but being able to master or, manage the stresses, as you said. And so say someone is stuck, like on that rotation of happy, sad, grateful, stress. They're stuck in that sadness. What would you say to that person that's stuck and they don't feel like they can get out of it? So they're stressed. Their mind is on this wheel and it's churning and they can't stop. What would you say to that person?
So there's 2 things that I would say to a person. And this is where I'd have to know the situation because every situation is very different. There's not a one size fits all.
It's 12 o'clock.
So there's 2 answers to that question.
Right.
One question is just not giving a crap. When you don't give a care, that stress is gone immediately, right?
Mhm.
Someone made a post on your Facebook. Someone commented, red hair 33 made a comment that said you're a racist because you're supporting a certain uh, group, right? And now
Mhm.
someone stressed out and saying, "Man, this person said I'm racist." I would just say, "F you," click delete, and now it's over. The more you talk about it, you give it life. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Don't give it
Right.
life. Number one, that's on one side.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, on the other side, where it's a stress, whereas, you lost your job. You can't just say, give a care, cool, let me throw one back and chill. No, you got to go out there and make it happen. So that's a stress there. Now, with that one, you say, okay, what am I grateful for in this situation? Because there's always something grateful in it. Cool, I don't have to deal with them haters and stressful backstabbers that were at this job. And there is another opportunity for me to grow and be who I am and serve another cause somewhere else. When people want you out of their life, let them go. So that's it. And you see how you can't say I don't give a care about work if you get fired or
Right.
if you're laid off furlough, but you can't say you don't give a care if someone comments on your comment and made a opinionated post on your page. You
Mhm.
see how it's not one size fit all. It's just which bucket you want to put it in. I don't give a care or I want to fix it. And that's just me.
Wow. Gotcha. Got it. So you use fitness as a form of validation, but also as a form. Do you use it also as a form of staying mentally strong, the mental stamina, or is that just
Well, you can't stay physically strong without mentally strong. One can't live without the other. That's something that people oftentimes don't put one and one to make two together, right? So,
Mhm.
in order to have the discipline to go
Mhm.
work out consistently, your mindset have to program those two together.
Mhm.
You can't have discipline or commitment without a certain mindset. It just doesn't happen.
Does it matter what the motivation is behind it?
No,
You know,
no.
people work out for reasons. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Some people work. Look, people ask me all the time, why do you put yourself through this? Why do you work out? Because I like when I take off my shirt, I like what I see.
Mhm.
People say, well, why you always got to take your shirt off? Because I love to look at what I spent so much time, hard work, and effort into. And if you don't like it, close your eyes. But I know you ain't because I know you want what I have, but you're too lazy to work for it.
Well. So a lot, what you're saying is a lot of the stress that we encounter, because we have positive and negative stressors, but a lot of those stressors can be alleviated by really just not caring or trying to live up to other people's perceptions or how
Not
they.
alleviated, not alleviated, honey. I don't like the word alleviated. Managed, because it ain't going nowhere.
Mhm.
It's just you manage it. It's gonna stay there, but you manage it and put it right over there. Tuck it away in his own little pocket, in his little bucket. Tuck it away over there. Okay, now you go over there and you go over there, and now that's how we're gonna manage this.
Hmm. That's good stuff. So, what has been one of your most defining moments, Coach?
Ooh, most defining moment.
Most, one of them, because I'm sure there've been many.
Oh yeah, there's been many. One of my most defining moments is when currently when me and my father embraced each other, and he told me he was sorry for what happened as a child with me, and I finally had an opportunity to let that go, put it in the past, and we now are just growing such a powerful, loving father-son relationship.
Wow. So, was was that a stressor that you carried, or you just didn't focus on that prior
Uh,
to that?
you know what? It's funny. I didn't focus on it, but it kept showing up in everything I did.
Mm-hmm.
You can hide it. You can close your eyes and say, there is no monster. There is no monster. But when you peek, there it is.
If
So
you hide
it was kind of one of those things. Look, I'm going to close my eyes to what happened in my life, and I'm just going to try to walk. Blind lead the blind. You blind lead the blind. You both fall in the ditch.
that's true. That's the
So,
word.
so the beautiful thing about it was I opened my eyes, and I said, I'm going to have to fight this. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can't fight it with your hands. You got to fight it with faith. And when you fight the fight with faith, you'll never lose.
Well,
The challenge is the patience of waiting it out. You know, it took me 30 some odd years, almost 40 some years to get to the point where I am now with that situation. But let me tell you something. God restores the time that's lost and make up for it. And it's just a beautiful time. I don't think it could have been a better time for it to happen than the current. And I think the time and the patience that I had to endure through it made me love it even more.
that word patience, boy, I tell you, that's a hard word for some, me included.
No, it ain't a hard word for some. It's a hard word for all. ALL. Every living, breathing thing that's walking on two legs and so on this planet Earth have a challenge with patience. Period.
So one of our listeners has a question, Miss Pollyanna.
What's
How
up,
do
Miss
you
Pollyanna?
how do you communicate that to someone who is just beginning to gain strength and discipline?
Say that again.
How do you communicate that? You said, I think it was referring to the physical fitness and the mindset, but how do you communicate to that to someone who is just beginning to gain strength and discipline? Like addressing the stress and the mindset of that, the fitness and how that relates to mental wellness and your stamina.
Just starting to gain strength in fitness or in the mindset?
The mindset.
So when I first started out coaching, I wanted everybody to be as strong and disciplined and committed and patient as I was.
That's a big ask.
That is. And I used to work big asses, right? So I used to just say, look, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. Da, da, da. If you don't do it this way, you're going to fail. You're going to lose. What's wrong with you? I was hard on the problem and hard on the person. It took wisdom for me to understand that you got to be hard on the problem, but easy on the person. And that's my number 2 bullet point in systemizing your health that I just taught this month is, listen, someone who's just starting out, just gaining strength, you stay hard on the problem. You don't let up on the problem. You let it know it's there. You identify it and you hold it right there. There it is, y'all. It's right there. But on a person, you have to meet them where they are and walk with them to where they want to go. You can't meet them where they're at and drag them to where they want to go. Or you can't go to where they want to go and say, hurry up. You just can't. So the challenge in doing that is also that it's a 2-part answer. If you take the word how out of that question you just asked me and say, insert another 3-letter word, that's why, it changes the game. When you know why it's important to do it for this individual, Pollyanna, if you're listening to me, listen to me when I tell you this. And I hope I got your name right.
You did. Pollyanna.
And it is simply this. How you do it is going to stress you out unless you know why you're doing it. When you know why you're doing it, the how is easy, honey. The how is easy. That don't work, you try another. That won't work, you try. It's going to keep you there. But if you just focus on how this didn't work, I'm out. I'm done. I give up. Because the why isn't strong enough. If your why doesn't make you cry, it ain't real. You're going to fail at it. So meet them where they are and walk with them to where they want to go and be hard on the problem, but easy on the person. I guarantee you get more bees with honey than vinegar.
I think you answered her question, and yes, she was referring to the mindset. Such great nuggets. So,
just as long as you eat them with some barbecue sauce. Hello.
No barbecue sauce no. That would be a no.
Okay. Well, whatever sauce you like, so sweet and sour, honey mustard, whatever you got.
Honey mustard for the go.
Yeah.
What insights can you share about how to navigate hard times, address the stressors, and continue to thrive or begin to thrive?
Okay, ask me. That was 3 questions in one, honey. You gotta take it slow for the quote. What's the first one? Let me do them 1, 2, 3.
What insights can you share about how to navigate through hard times? That's one.
Insight. Okay, insight meaning something that's insightful, right? I really don't have insights. I just have the proof. It's hard, the hard work to go through hard times. Look, tough times don't last. Tough people do. So if you're going through a hard time, you got to be harder. Or you're gonna fail. You're gonna give up. You're gonna quit. Woe, it's me. And guess what? That thing's still in front of you. You can deal with it now, or you can deal with it double later. You can pay the full fare now, or you can pay double later. It ain't going nowhere. So you have to understand that tough times is here. Hard times is here. But it's up to you to become harder than it. And then it's gone forever.
So basically, it begins and it ends with you, is what you're saying.
Listen, it may not begin with you, but it's gonna end with you. Either you kicking its butt or it's kicking yours. Somebody gonna get their butt kicked. It's just a battle of will. And you know what? I'm so sick and tired of these watered down sweet potato pie answers that people give people just to make them feel good in the moment. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that you like or prefer or comfortable. It's going to be something that you don't like. That's not easy, uncomfortable. But guess what? Once you blow past it, the fulfillment of knowing that you beat it and it's not coming back. And if it do come back, you ready for it. That's the most beautiful thing. But we don't talk about that.
So let's talk about it.
Let's do it. I thought you had 2 other questions, but let's do it. I'm with it. Let's get it.
The other question was addressing the stress and how to thrive.
You know, thriving is a very, 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 very bold word. Bold. You know, winning is a little light. Thriving, that's very bold. So if you want to thrive, and especially in today's world, you're going to have to look at it just like this. What does it look like to thrive? I'm going to tell you what it looks like. Sleepless nights, scratched up knees, busted lip, dotted eyes, falling out of hair, stiffness of joints, and tiresome days. Also cold and uncomfortable. That's what thriving is. Anyone who tell you that is not, they're lying to you.
So thriving is not what people have in their minds that it is.
It's what they've been told.
Yeah.
You ask anyone who's winning. I won. I got a trophy. But you ask someone who is thriving. It's a different demeanor.
Okay. And is that how they address the stress to thrive?
I'm gonna tell you what. It doesn't even matter. When you start talking about stress, if you want to thrive and you're concerned about stress, you ain't ready for it. If you want to thrive and you're concerned about fear, you ain't ready for it. Listen, okay, let me give you this scenario. You have a daughter, right? You have a beautiful daughter, right? You raised her very well. She's very articulate. She's special. She's beautiful. And she has been a mother to two beautiful angels, right?
Right.
Now, those 2 angels are in your care for one day. And another day, they're not. You're by yourself. Now, you're on the top floor of a building one day, and you're looking across at another building. And the only way to get to that building is on a thin, tight rope. And by the way, in that other building, there's flames in there. And there are people in there that are burning. And they're yelling for someone to help them. You don't know who they are. You never met them. And they're over there, and the flames are there. What are you going to do?
I'm going to figure out a way to help them. as
Now
many as I
watch this. Now watch this. Your two grandchildren are on the ledge crying. The flames is licking at their neck. And they're saying, Grandma, save us, help me. It's too hot. And they're yelling and screaming, and the terror in their eyes are looking at you and saying, what are you going to do to save me? What are you going to do?
whatever I need to do to save them,
You
even
see
if
the difference in the answer? I'm going to figure it out, or I'm going to do whatever it takes. Winning is figuring it out, scratching your head. Thriving is I'm not thinking, I'm doing, making the mistakes along the way. You see the difference there?
I see the difference.
That's your definition of winning and thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Those were the three questions. The hard times, address the stress, and thrive.
It's good.
Yeah. So, we've had to create new norms with this pandemic. And many people are having challenges, whether they had challenges with mental health prior to or whether they didn't, but they've developed them since this. Many people are having, elevated challenges with mental health because of the state of the racial tensions and the things that are going on in the news. And so because of that, they are having challenges within the home. So for those that are living at home with somebody that has challenges with mental health and they're stressing, what would you say to them on how they can manage their own mental health without falling into the pit with somebody else that is that is unstable?
This is a tough one. This is tough.
Yeah, it is.
So I've never been in a situation like this. This is one of those, what are you going to do? Stress happens. Put them in two buckets. Well, when you're dealing with families, you're not dealing with just you. All the questions you've asked me before were me.
Right.
An individual. Now, this is a family. So now you're thinking about more than just you. So you got different variables in this situation. So during this time, what I've learned from now creating a community and seeing different people, how they respond, what's going on, listening to them, giving insight, and just evolving with them, and we do it together. I'm learning that the only way to get through this the only way to get through this without breaking down and just saying, I don't know what to do, is this time more than any other time that I've known, is that this has been a reminder that we need each other. And we don't just need the company of each other. We need the conversation of each other, which is the connection. So if anyone's listening to this and you're struggling or you're having a bad time with dealing with COVID-19, with families and things like this, what to do instead of breaking down, here's what I want to employ you to do. Is I employ for you to send out a text message or an email, or you can call everyone who is in your circle and ask them a simple question. How can I serve you? And let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to start telling you their problems. And you're going to say, whoa, I ain't got those problems. Whoa, I don't. Then something happens. There's a shift that happens on the inside and on the upstairs inside. One word, you're going to start having more gratitude. And that gratitude is what's going to be the divider of the people who you allow inside your space. So you have a feeler that goes out and reaches, and then the elimination process is where you see where people really need you. And I'm going to tell you something. What you're needing is also needing you. So when you become a part of a community, now remember what I said, You don't have to go and look for a community, although that's a great strategy too. You can create. So I think that was your question, creating. You create your community. That's what I did. I came up, did 600 sit-ups, 600, and a community was formed out of that. What I needed from the people, they needed from me. We needed each other.
Mm-hmm.
My strategy was doing lives and doing working out.
Mm-hmm.
You may just come up live and start baking. Then people will say, hey, I like to bake. Hey, here's what you don't use that flour, use that flour. And they put it in the comment. You're like, whoa, I didn't know that. Thank you. Now you got a baking buddy. Or you come up on a live, you just start talking crap, talking about politics. You trust me, you'll have some communities that talk about that, right? Or you can talk about anything. It's your choice what you want to talk about. It's your choice what you want to put out there. But just be ready for the stressors that you want to say, I don't give a care, and the stresses that you say, well, I want to fix. But the strategy during this pandemic, during this time, is we need people, and we need love, and we need connection, and the love and connection that comes from the people.
That's good stuff. So I want you to say a word of encouragement to that person out there that's listening, that knows that that's what they need. They're straddling the fence between reaching out and asking for the help that they need, but they don't know how to express that. What would you say?
Look in my eyes. Listen to my voice. I'm going to say it once and once for all. Until you tired of getting slapped in the face, you're not going to duck. Tired of touching and burning your hand, you're not going to stop touching the hot stove. Oh, since you did say this is the closing remarks, until you get tired of that relationship of unfulfillment, you're going to keep staying in it. Until you're tired of still making the same mistakes when nobody's watching, you're going to keep making them same mistakes. Now, if you ain't tired, keep doing what you're doing. Don't complain about it. Keep doing it. It's giving you what you want because you're steady doing it. But until you get tired, you ain't going to stop. It ain't nothing I can say. It ain't nothing that she can say over there. It ain't nothing nobody can say until you tired. When the student is ready, the teacher shows up.
Well, that says it. So, Mike, in closing, I want you to share with our listening audience a takeaway, a call to action, and then, of course, how they can be a part of the community that has been formed called the VFC.
Absolutely. So if you want to join the VFC, you want to reach out to me and reach out to all of us, and Michelle is actually a part of it as well. You can just go down below on the screen. You see www.teamvfc.com, or you can just download the app. What's lazy folk? We can just get our phone, download the app VFC, and when you download it, you can download it and try a free class. You can schedule a time to talk with me if you want to, and that's how you can get in connected with it. If you don't do it. And then the other one, the feedback that I want to give to you is that what it is that you are looking for, questioning, confused, scared of, is a direct reflection of what's scared of you, what's confused about you, and what's trying to connect with you. If you're scared of meeting people, people are scared of meeting you. When you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. So it's never going to change until you change the way you look at it. Just like oatmeal. I ain't never going to change the way I look at oatmeal. It looks like boogers and starch snurred up in a pot. I'm never going to change it. So I ain't never going to eat it. But when it came to bell peppers as a kid, I didn't like them. But then once I saw the nutrition in it and I tried it and it wasn't so bad, guess what? I changed the way I saw it, and the way I saw it change. Now, different strokes for different folks. And whatever make your pickle tickle may not be the same thing for somebody else. So Just know you, and if you know you, ain't nobody else can tell you anything. That's my 2 cents 20 cents ago.
Well, the bottom line is, I think, Mike, is you said a key word, and to know you. And I think where many of us are challenged, people really don't know really who they are at the core. So I want to thank you for all the insight and everything that you shared today. And I have to agree with you as far as how you feel about oatmeal. I feel about okra. I think it looks like snot. Slimy snot,
Yeah.
and it never. So I
Yeah,
can definitely relate.
either. I'm not a fan of okra. It's like,
Yeah, I look like snot. Can't eat it. But I
right.
wanted to share. I wanted to thank you so much for coming on and sharing, being real and being truthful and addressing things that a lot of us don't. And a lot of us like to eloquently dress it up. I'm a lover of people, and I love to soften the blow for people. But we need those in our lives. Iron sharpens iron, such as you, Mike, where you just give it to us full force. You don't sugarcoat it. You just hit us where it hurts so that we can address it and we can move on and move beyond and be stronger through it. And so some of the things that stood out to me and resonated with me, and I hope that those that were tuning in took notes, is stress is too light to be felt until it's too heavy to carry. Now, I don't know why I resonated so much with that, but that was very powerful. And bottom line, the greatest need we have is for one another. We need each other, not just for company, but for conversation. And who you're needing is also needing you. And so I think one of the greatest takeaways that we can take away from today's conversation, the best way to address stress is to take the focus off self and put the focus on others, and know that we can never truly do it alone. We need one another in this world to thrive and to survive. So I want to thank you so much again, Mike. If you have not already, take a look at the website. It's teambfc.com, as it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Thank you again for tuning in to Michelle Speaks. If you hide it, you can't heal it. And we look forward to seeing you next time with the next segment. Take care. Be well. God bless.